Welcome back, everybody, to map number 2. Hope you guys had a bit of a break there and are ready for another exciting one, as we saw a lot of overtimes. And neXup finally put it away, making it, 1-0 for them. And now moving on to SKDC's map choice. They start on the CT side, so technically in an advantageous position. We'll see how they deal with it, as the T's working a bit of a slow strat here to start us off.
Yeah, question being, can SKDC shake that loss off? Because that's a hard one to swallow. They should have won that match in my eyes. They were making the right decisions. They were making the right corrections of their style. But neXup just somehow came on top. Now SKDC going to take towards B. Wow, Sync gets caught way out of position. He was faked out of his shoes there. And SKDC with a free bomb site take, because Sync was way too confident that that site was clear.
Stewie2K is gonna fall flat a little bit, as he had a perfect opportunity to take down foes. He was flanking through the window room. Wasn't able to do it, as now it is going to be a 3-on-3. Ro4 has an incendiary, drops it on the bomb here, and they do have a kid on foe, and it's going to be Ro4 to go down next, as it's a 2-on-2, but they are not peeking at all. And most important thing to note is Else. He's out on Catwalk, and it is posted for Catwalk, and they utilize another Molotov. My God. I love post-plant Molotovs so much. That is a beautiful way to take the pistol around SKDC.
Takes a lot of patience.
Oh yeah, certainly, and even to know when to peek to drop it. A lot of timing's involved, and I love every aspect of it.
Oh yeah, just makes me smile. One of those many plays that makes me smile is having, you know, the wherewithal as a player to keep that nade the entirety of the round, despite having many potential good positions onto when to use it, but to keep it till the end. Only one SKDC that pistol round, and now looking to control this anti-eco, this neXup. I guess you can't even call it an anti-eco anymore. Like teams aren't going to save. It's not an eco round.
Yeah, it's kind of a word that's utilized still, but the definition has changed slightly. As I'm going to see Stewie2K gets dropped immediately up inside of Palace, so early frag advantage for now the CT side, and we can see they are reading that it is going to be a B-bomb side play. They are
this is
gold.
So cool.
And
this
now it's going to be
so cool.
Takes down Else. He's got Slemmy up above. He'll be able to drop him, but Slemmy does not realize he is walking into a trap of sorts as Shinobi takes him down. Now Ro4 and Ocean, they're not sure where they want to go. Nice move from Ro4 as he will move into window room, and this cuts everything in half for him.
Yeah, he has to hold this position. Ro4, wow, he does just that. Eliminates two of them. Trying to rotate in back towards A. Problem being for SKDC, there's already a member inside of A. That's going to be JBM. Lurking about inside the CT spawn. Gets Ro4. No trade available for Ocean in this 1-on-2. Going for the bomb plant here. Ro4. No, Ro4's already dead. His teammate's going to take the Ocean. Gets finished off by JBM. I got real backwards in the end there, but neXup gonna take that round, and I have so much to say about that. The way it was like a double contingency for both teams. Say neXup doesn't get the look they wanted, they're either gonna stack towards the A bomb site, but if they get that kill, suddenly if SKDC doesn't provide any presence toward the A site, everybody immediately goes back to B, where SKDC is trying to go themselves based upon their own reaction to losing a player at A. So big gamble. And big read, big round from neXup.
Just big stuff across the board. As now SKDC, they're going up for a 4-step strat of their own. Ro4 is going to be with the Galil in hand, but the rest, Tech9's actually Slemmy with a P250. Heading towards this B bomb site. Synced. He's got an MP9, and quite honestly, it's good fire rate, good for close range, but against armored players, this could be difficult. He needs to hit some heads to chunk away their HP early on. He's going to drop an incendiary. Nice counter flash, as well as now things completely slow down. He peeks out. I wouldn't have liked what I saw either, as he goes back towards the balcony and will now finally peek out. Can't get a single thing done, though. Shinobi does find one, but they're going to flood into the bomb site here, and this is going to be very difficult for the CTs to hold on.
Yeah, just JBM remains as FGB folds. Still without the bomb plant, though, as SKDC. Now JBM has been spotted. Trade is there. And it's going to be Ro4 who claims the frag for SKDC. So now, trading off rounds, 1 for 1. Does neXup follow the route that we only have seen in Counter-Strike Global Offensive, which is just to keep buying. If you trade round for round, you just keep buying. This is something
man.
we've never seen in previous iterations of the game. And you know what? I guess I got like the Stockholm syndrome of CS:GO.
Oh my god, Shinobi takes off the head of Slemmy in mid. And already, it looks like we might have another trade back to the CT side for momentum, but we won't get too ahead of ourselves as Ocean slowly moving up a ramp. Bo's going to be there to spot him and won't be able to hit the shot. Receives a little bit of damage, but not a huge deal as FGB, he's in a very opportune spot here as he spots Stewie2K. With the 5.7, it's really difficult. Quite honestly, it's one of the weapons at long range. I would much rather have a P250 there, as it seems at that range, it is really difficult. You saw FGB try and kind of slowly take the shot. It's going to be JBM that tries to push into A ramp. Ocean drops him, and Else finds Shinobi inside of jungle. So now a 3-on-4. FGB is still going to be a highlight player to note here, but you know that he is up inside of Palace, so might not be able to get anything done. Does drop the bomb carrier, making things a little bit interesting.
Yeah, this guy, with his aim, he looks a little crazy, almost like, oh god, who am I trying to reference? Rambo. We're going way back in time. Having like the little shaky aim as he even controls a pistol. Really weird for FGB. We do get our eyes on him later. Keep an eye on that. It's very interesting and distinctive of him as a player. But SKDC able to beat the 4-spy round of neXup. Now finally breaking the trend of the 1-for-1 trade round. Now, hopefully, for SKDC, they can establish their economy. And on the other side for neXup this round, just trying to bring that down as much as possible. And they're going for 2 middle as well as 2 on catwalk, where SKDC is trying to come up mid. We have FGB getting very aggressive down below. All he has to beat is the bomber as Slemmy, but not going to get it. So now the follow-up from neXup is to aggress down the tunnels with the 2 other players inside of B for SKDC here with 2 players lined up. Yeah, they got the firing squad. Not going to happen. Maybe Sync can get 1. Should get traded off by Slemmy. And that is the case. So SKDC gonna survive with 4 players here. Ooh, Else eats a bullet to the dome, but not enough to bring him down. What a soldier. 4-1 for SKDC.
Yeah, big scoreline early on for SKDC on their T side. Not too bad at all to be up 4-1. As they are kind of battling from behind, being that neXup is up a map and moving into Train as our 3rd and final map. If SKDC can take this one, that's going to be very interesting. I got a feeling that both these teams may not have very much prepped in the form of tactics on that map, so it's going to be cool to find out what goes on there, but just going to get through this one and see if SKDC can find their 16th round eventually, but it's going to be 2 frags for the CTs early. Traded off, though, for 3-on-3. Shinobi still peeking in mid, trying to get aggressive here, and he actually has a flashbang hit him in the foot. Can't imagine that felt too great, but nonetheless, still a bit of mid control for the T side as the bomb rotating through CT spawn, or rather through T spawn. And
I wonder what nade hurts the worst, based upon like how they're built, the shape of them.
It's got to be a frag, like a HE grenade, right? Like, you mean other than that? Because that one's definitely got to be the most painful.
Well, I mean, what about a Molotov? Depending on the bottle that it's like they use that to build it, you know, it might be the Molotov.
I guess the glass fragments. Yeah, okay, I could see that. I could see the merit behind that. That would be pretty.
They say like
pretty terrible.
If you're getting a bottle broken over your head, you need a full one rather than. So I guess the way they fill the Molotov, perhaps. All right, I'm done with this attempted joke. It's horrible. We get that. But look at SKDC's economy. Off to a fantastic start. 5-1 in the scoreline. And going for a Deagle pick mid. Shinobi, this isn't Source. All right, it is. So, utilizing the previous incarnation of this weapon is Shinobi with a Deagle. Taking it straight out of Source and holding middle. Like, this should not work. neXup with another round, that should not work. If they do this again, my mind is going to be boggled. Enter to jump back. JBM gets 1. Ocean though. Flies with 2 big frags. Suddenly just synced here without a weapon in the 1-on-2.
Yeah, USPS, Splinter Cell style. Gonna be lurking through the depths of mid. I'll come up from connector, I imagine. Actually, let me just swim on over to top mid here. Is there any weapons down at all? There's actually an AK top mid. There's an AK there. I'm not really sure why he Yeah, he's gonna go for it. And he finds Slemmy, immediate frag. Beautiful, as now he only needs Ocean, and with the USPS, Ocean has no idea where Synced is right now.
I'm not sure if Sync heard him pick up the bomb. Oh, now they are aware of each other's position. Sync is going for it. Ocean, oh, can't catch him around the corner. This round is so important for neXup. Taps the plant. Synced, not gonna go for the peek. Oh,
Wow.
hits the 1D. It's not a headshot, but it doesn't matter in neXup. Claiming another round, where in my opinion, as little as that means, should have not won that again. But making me eat my words, I'm okay with it because now we got a match on our hands where SKDC, we're looking to pull away based upon their economy.
Exactly, they were getting to really, really good territory in the form of economy. Now, CT's obviously got rifles on the round. They're still low in economy, though. Sync's the only one, 4,000 in his bank account. We got JBM with 2,100, but the rest underneath 1,000. Means this round is fairly important to them. So we'll see where they decide to go with things. As Foe posted up in mid window room with his AWP. He's got Shinobi actually in the ladder room. So they're kind of playing a bit of a tag team here, just in case they come up on Catwalk. But I imagine that's because JBM is currently not watching Catwalk for them at all. But it is going to be Ruru coming out through underpass, and he's going to help out from Connector on this A-side play.
ADC, I'm going to try to split up mid. Oh man, that's such a good frag for Ruru. Diverting the attention of neXup, while SKDC, the remainder of their forces are splitting up the stairs as well as the balcony, now trying to come up. JBM traded off by Stewie2K, and that's exactly the diversion that they want. For Foe to respond,
Foe.
That's one, that's two, looking just like he did for the quad box of cash. A whole lot of op frags for the neXup side. They now do have the advantage, as you see if they can't win this one. Their economy may be broken. Still not at that point, but down to a 2-on-2 as Foe looking to continue with that AW. He can't hit the shot onto Slemmy. Slemmy doesn't follow it up. FGB taking his sweet old time, coming on through, going for the plant and isolating FGB. No, the perfect timing from SK or FGB. We're down to a 1-on-1. Stewie2K peeks up.
Wow.
Finishes it off for SKDC. Fantastic 1-on-2. And then Foe with the op in that position, it came back to haunt him, because had he had any other automatic shotgun, anything like that in that situation, he probably would have won it.
I like how you referenced the shotgun out of any weapon. It's true, though. It's definitely
It's true. I mean, get his who's that? Drawsoul on. I mean,
right?
Drawsoul comes through with the shoddy.
It's true. The Nova frags. He is a fan of those ones. As neXup, they will lose that round, and like I highlighted previous, it was a critical one for them. As now they're back in eco territory. They'll get a couple upgraded.
It's just on the verge of neXup, winning a round that they shouldn't have won either. So, justice.
Yeah, fair enough. It is going to be SKDC working towards this B bomb site. Molotov is down. Sync did pop a flash up, but they're now going to be able to come on through, and Sync gifted an AWP. Oh, he misses the shot, though. That would have been a highlight if I've ever seen one, but won't be so as Shinobi gets dropped. JBM tries to flood in through the window. Now it's only FGB left, and yeah, I just had visions of Synced. He finds that first frag, the op just gifted into his waiting hands, and then he finds a no-scope and continues just this
I was hoping he'd go for the jumper.
Or that, you know what, that would have been maybe even more beautiful. So, nonetheless, doesn't work out, but could have been so.
Could have been, should have been, would have been, more than you should ever know. That was accidental. I promise I did not mean to recite that lyric.
I don't even know what that was from, I'm not going to lie. I'm probably going to get hate for not knowing it, but anyhow.
It's like a
meh.
It's pretty mainstream, Chad. You're not a very mainstream guy, so I guess people will like you and resent you for that, perhaps.
Works for me.
Fair enough. As SKDC move up 7-2 here, and their economy. I mean, they had a little hiccup with neXup winning that round. That, again, in my opinion, should not have won. SKDC having some mishaps that round, and neXup here. With this loss bonus, not loss advantage, perhaps they should have saved. I don't know. The way SKDC is working it, I mean, I'd like for neXup to sacrifice a round to be more well-equipped to win rounds consecutively. Instead, We're going to go for a little bit of a weaker round to try to get that spree going. And SKDC, I like this from them too. Realizing that neXup may be a little less well off, economically speaking, why not test their A-tank or their A-hole?
FGB is able to get 2 from Ramp, Shinobi with 1 as well, but actually it is going to be Shinobi finding a number here, as it's only Else left up, and he is going to be collided upon by someone above him and in jungle. Not a fun spot, but 3-7 SKDC. They now have an opportunity to break the bank account of neXup, as every round that we've seen from the CT side, they're not able to get those consecutive rounds in. And yeah, it's great you find those first ones, but a lot of what Counter-Strike is based off of is economy and getting consecutive rounds. And that's just something that SKDC, they're able to throw in enough variation that they're not able to get these 2 rounds that they so require. But they do have another opportunity here, is the optimistic side for them.
Yeah, certainly optimistic. It seems like what SKDC is doing with their adaptations and such, they're making nothing but the right decisions, but neXup somehow just make it work in these scenarios. In this round, SKDC are grouped up. There are 3 players at the bottom of A stairs. However, they've allowed neXup full control of middle, now being relinquished. In a very interesting round, SKDC. I mean, if you're throwing a fake, do you need this many players over towards the A bomb site? I don't think so. I mean, 2 players should be enough, but I guess they're trying to sell such like a muscle fake to guarantee that neXup's going to rotate over, but Sync still posted up in your A, gives away his position now, doesn't get any frags as a result of it. Sync needs to hold onto this bomb site. He gets 1 now, making it unavailable to plant for Slemmy. As his teammate comes on through, still takes the fight. I don't like that decision from Sync in that scenario to take it. However, it works up. More of the, 70-30 rule I always talk about. You make the right decision 70% of the time, or it's still not going to work out for you 30% of the time. And Sync there could have gave away the round to SKDC, but fortunately he hits the shot and rewarded for his over-aggression.
Yeah, as the only thing that I can think of is, I've noticed that as well. A lot of times that we're seeing fakes, it's no longer maybe 2 to 1 site that's being faked, and then 3 to the committed site, it's the other way around. And I think it's because a fake is sold so much better if you actually get a frag in. That's my best guess as to why they're shifting the players 1 from 1. The downside to it is that if one of your players gets picked off as they're committing into the site that you're committing to, it's now only a single player trying to get the bomb down and basically clutch the round. So it's neither here nor there, but we're going to see Sync finds 2 inside of the smoke. Shinobi follows up as they're trying to flood on out. Finally, Els will find 1 for himself. And if he can connect on the foe here as well, that would be fantastic. He goes to the knife as he's got nothing to work with. But it will be foe to end his life with the USPS. So coming back here is neXup, as we're highlighting the fact that they weren't able to string together rounds. They've now found 3 in a row. So bring things back.
And now their economy's at the point, and they can start to solidify a bit of their economy, perhaps losing a round and still being able to buy. Yeah, they're at that point. So SKDC, with only 3 rounds remaining to put more on the board, we're going to see nothing but 4 spies from neXup, no matter if SKDC wins the round or not. And now for neXup. I have 3 players near mid, 1 on catwalk, 1 connector, and 1 inside a window. What I'd like to see from them is, just absolution in their setup. We need all of them to peak or none of them to peak. And they're kind of poking onto catwalk. Their mid player's not peaking. I don't know from neXup. Fortunately for them, SKDC isn't taking advantage of this at all. They are thinking about working up towards connector, and we still have Shinobi inside of the window room. But now, this catwalk player, he's all alone. But no, JBM. There he is from the connector. He gets everybody. He was the sole player I was highlighting that he had to come up big. And SKDC, if he doesn't take them down, that's the entire strategy. They're trying to isolate onto the A-bomb site, but if they can't get a 3 versus 1 frag onto that player, then their strategy is null.
Yeah, that didn't work out so well, as I was just watching JBM in that connector position, and yeah, they lined up for one, and then he just makes himself really hard to hit. And Ruru attempts to finally get that frag in, but Shinobi takes him down. So, sad times for SKDC. That being said, with 7 already on the T side, they're probably not feeling too bad, but the downside is that they're giving away a lot of this late half momentum to the CT side, where they could have those good feelings themselves, but they're going to go for an A-side take. Got 2 posted up inside of Palace, 3 coming up from ramp, and they're actually utilizing a couple smokes here. Actually, a couple, I mean 3. 1 for stairs, 1 for jungle, 1 for the center of sight, but the problem is FGB still in a good spot from triple, and it's actually Shinobi and JBM to push through the smoke. Might not be the best play, though, as Shinobi goes down.
Still got 1 player to deal with inside of the site. That's FGB. He allows the bomb to get down. Oh, drive-by by Ruru. Now evened up by neXup, though, and JBM guarantees the advantage once more for the time being. Ruru left alone inside of the CT spawn. Gonna smoke himself off and then play on top of the ticket booth. Sync doesn't miss his position. Oh, Ruru gets 1. JBM still yet to respond, trying to find him through the smoke. Ruru is playing this smoke beautifully, jumps on top. Oh, runs out of bullets. JBM going for the defuse. So little HP. He's going for it all. No, Ruru's going to win the round. 8-6 now from SKDC. And a massive misplay by neXup. Everybody should know at this level how that smoke works. It's going to favor the T in that situation. You can peek over it. You can play off of it. And neXup, they should have played that way differently.
Yeah, and I thought they might actually get that defuse off as Ruru sprayed through the smoke and almost took him down and then tried to jump through, but I wasn't actually on the diffuser, but I gotta imagine that would have been pretty darn close.
Yeah, like 2 seconds.
Okay, maybe not as close as I suspected.
I believe you, Chad. I wanted to see it.
Exactly, as FGB, 2 big frags. They decide to throw an op on him, and he comes up with 2 from triple box onto A ramp, and Bo finds 1 as well, so it's only Slemmy and Ocean here. Shinobi, you push through that same smoke in the last round, and the same thing happened to you with a P250. He goes for the push out of jungle, but it's going to be Bo to find Slemmy through the edge of a smoke. Ocean now in a lonely 1v3.
Inside of the CT spawn. Wants to take the fight onto Foe here. Wounds him down significantly. Almost mortally. 7 HP remaining, but now that he doesn't take him down, it allows Foe to set up in a position where he can try to cut it in half. Oh, Sync comes in. Good timing. Trades his teammate off, but neXup, they made a half of it out of it. It didn't look like it was going to be so. It looked like SKDC had him figured out on their T side, but neXup. Now we have a game on our hands as long as neXup wins this pistol round.
Exactly. They can mount a comeback here as they are down a single round, but I would like to let you guys know about one of our partners here, RGN, Alpha Draft. If you guys are into esports fantasy stuff, if you want to get in on the action of creating your own roster and basically having a set list of matches that you're creating that roster for and such, definitely check out Alpha Draft, as they are a premium service for that kind of thing. And they actually have, which I really like, is there's a free kind of battleground where you can just basically go in and you're not actually spending anything. So definitely check that out and
the test your might side of things. And
exactly, right?
If you're a true student or spectator of the game, there's a lot of money to be made on platforms such as Alpha Draft. And if you're overconfident like I am, you can go ahead and lose some money on there. So you can choose either way if you will, but I definitely recommend starting off on the starter side. But again, if you're a true student and you can recognize the tendencies of the players, how they're going to match up, do your research, it's a fun thing to be a part of.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. As we're just waiting for this second half to go live, and then we'll be jumping into the pistol round next up. Again, they're up a map right now, so SKDC, if they do close this out on their CT half, which they do have the advantage in, and I think they'll do some good things there. That being said, next up, they honestly surprised me in the way they came back on that CT half, and like you said, made a pretty good match out of it. But pistol round is kind of required to continue that success. So see how that goes.
But then again, we're basing it all off of what we've seen previously, and how many times we've seen previously just gotten tossed out of the window. Crazy comebacks occurring. But in the general sense, neXup should need this pistol round to be able to come back. Say neXup win it, and the usual thing happens where they win the following 2 rounds. We're looking at a 10-8 for neXup. However, on the other side, if SKDC can somehow do it and then win the second pistol round over the Tech-9 buy of neXup, which is presumably coming unless a bomb plan is underway. There's a whole lot of factors that could have altered the scenarios I'm painting, but either team that wins the pistol round, and it should have a good good chance of taking it. Especially for SKDC though, looking at 11-7, neXup on their T side. I don't like the way they're adjusting. However, they're still fragging out very well. It's really just a toss-up in my eyes at this point.
Yeah, I'm on a similar page, to be honest with you. I think the inherent kind of CT advantages are still there, but I think neXup might have it in them. But actually, the way that we saw things start off in the first pistol round, again, we did see the T side take it, and the CT side was able to force up, bring it back for themselves, and then the third round, again, another force fight comes in. So, a lot of craziness. A lot of craziness can occur. So we put a lot of weight on this pistol round, but the latest meta, obviously, second rounds can be so massive, and we're just kind of trying to say the things we say, because that's, again, you painted it best. The amount that we've kind of seen.
I'm not a robot, Chad.
You more than me. I would say that I would say that you kind of have just more extensive history in watching the matches in general. With me, obviously, I'm just not as experienced in that department. But the same thing still stands that you reference your history.
Mo, it's not the way it's supposed to be.
It's not the way it's supposed to be, exactly. So there's all these kind of controversial stuff back and forth about making every weapon viable and people against it, people for it, and stuff like that. Yeah, it's definitely an interesting argument that we'll not get into here and now.
Oh, no,
as,
we've had
we need
way
a
too
talk
many
show
of these.
for that. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I think we're going to potentially get one going or not. I'll leave that in the dark.
Just throw that into the air as we disappear in moments. But, again, we're just waiting for these guys to get ready here. Honestly, we rarely actually have these kind of halftime lag, in that it doesn't start right away. So looks like we're waiting for...
I want to go into the T side strategy of neXup though, because what we saw from them on Cash, it's not like their strategy was amazing, more so that their shots were on point. Because we saw Synced, neXup would go down a player, and then neXup would somehow, Synced would come into a bomb site, even it back out, and then somehow they'd win the round. So unless Synced and company, like say Shinobi and them, can somehow do the same, it should be a map for SKDC. But obviously all our reads don't really matter because adjustments can be made. So entire toss up here. But it comes down to me for the fragging ability of neXup. If it shows up, we're going to see a 2-0. If it doesn't, we're going to see a map 3.
And map 3 is Train. That's a whole new ball game. As these maps, you can figure out probably a ton of demos and see a ton of times these teams playing on it. Train, I feel like that's probably not going to be the scenario. SKDC probably has spent a little bit of time on it, as it is in, obviously, the leagues they're participating in. I'm trying to think. neXup probably in the same boat. I'm sure they've got it in their pool as well. So I think both teams probably have spent at least a bit of time playing around, and you can bring in a lot of kind of the old strats. Not all of them, but a lot of the kind of basic premise of the strategies can hold. And there's a lot of new kind of ways to smoke and flash and do all that kind of fun stuff, but same ideas. And of course, mid being a huge difference. A very quick way for T's to get out into that outer bomb site. But I'm just very intrigued to see. And of course, we've got an emote that's designed for that map specifically inside of our chat. We've got a Train hype emote. It's meant to be. We got to see a map number 3 here. But again,
I'd love to see some more Train. And going off of some of your points, we may not even see Train, right? But so they made mid easier for the T's. Presumably, we still haven't seen it figured out altogether, as the CT can get there at mid, potentially hit the cross shot depending on how the T approaches it and reaction time of the T. But the differences of boss in the ladder room, in my opinion, are easier for the CT side. So by nerfing one and buffing the other, I think it makes it kind of even. And the way we see the scores develop on train still being a majority of it CT-sided with a few outliers here and there. I just feel like it's the same map with minor tweaks, but similar scenarios.
Exactly, as it does look like. We've got 10 players back in the server, which is a good sign, as 9 players are ready. Please give me that number 10, as... I'm trying to see, who is the person? Saint, your buddy. Oh, man.
We're not
How dare
friends.
you, Laser. I'm going to put all of the blame from him onto
We
you
are
purely
not
because...
friends.
Oh, never mind. Your acquaintance. Your...
Oh, we're
We're not
friends
going to
most
go
of
into
the
that.
time.
Okay, all right. We won't-
Before
won't
this
touch on that
match,
too deep.
I asked him if he was going to win. I got called an explicative. We're not friends right now, but probably after the match.
All right, sounds good. All right, so well, to be continued on that note, but we're just waiting for only him to get live, and then we'll have the second half of this go underway. And I'm not really sure what
I
else.
correct my English expletive, not explicative.
That's okay. I say what was the one that I'm having problems with all the time? Inevitable versus inevitable. I watch too much of Team America. If you guys know what I'm talking about. But
The one
inevitable is the
that I just got corrected on recently was self-depreciative humor. No, it's deprecation.
Yeah, right. Deprecation? Self-deprecation?
Self-deprecation, not depreciation.
Depreciation. Yeah, depreciation is like when something goes down in value, right? But I guess it's similar to, or is it the same? We'll get into that at a later time. Anyhow, Pistol Round is now finally live, and we can see neXup moving
job,
over
Chad.
towards this A-bomb site.
So now neXup. Big round for them here, looking to split onto A. Wow, they're going to change their pace. They saw something that's going to variate their strategy coming out upper. Shinobi onto Al's quick reply. Stewie 2K, and Stewie is the only player in the site. Trades once more, trying to isolate into the connector, but they're splitting up for neXup. Getting the bomb down, everybody rotating real quickly. Ro4 gets really aggressive, leaving only his teammate alive now. That's going to be Slemmy, taking the fight onto both of them. JBM going to finish it off, and neXup, in a very chaotic fashion, are going to end the round to 8. And do SKDC buy in the situation? Probably.
We'll see here. It's been a big trend, obviously. What we'll see is JBM. I remember the last time we casted these guys purely because I know. Oh, thank God he does pick up a UMP. JBM, I believe. I don't want to paint the wrong picture for him, but I believe he was the one that on these anti-ecos you pick up a deagle and a deagle only, and I hate seeing that because you have the advantage. What a way to throw it away by just trying to get those trick shots. But he does have a UMP, so forget I said anything about it, as I think he just brought that over from the last round. So SMGs on the board, other than, actually, they've got 2 Galillas and an AK as they're taking into the A-bomb site. Stewie 2K actually comes up with the first one. They're able to trade takedown Else underneath the balcony, and they know the positioning of Stewie, but the Ocean to find one, and Stewie with one more as they finally get him down, but 2 on 3 is... Are we going to see another trade-up of rounds early on in a half? That's what it looked like here.
As much as I feel like I should be surprised, I'm not surprised.
Right.
So we're down to a 2 on 3 here. neXup still trying to work their way into A. Problem being they've allowed SKDC a whole lot of time to come through the Frank. Oh, the shank flank by Ro4. Somehow FGB realizes what's going on and gets the retribution onto Ro4 there for shanking his teammate. But as requested, not requested, but as suggested. Oh, man.
There we go.
I'm just rapping here.
It's
SKDC
okay, man.
is going to take it 1 for 1, and neXup, are they going to buy? I presume so.
Yeah, at this point, I would be confused to not see them. I've now officially been trained. Like, it's just, it takes some time, and then finally you realize that you're not going to see any different, as they will force up, and FGB, first one out in a ramp. He's got Foe, who's not very close behind. Now they are together as FGB finds one. Ro4, though, takes down 2, and Slemmy is able to find one as well, so this forced up round not looking like it's working out too well as Ocean comes up and spoils things from CT. Foe with the Tech 9 finds 2, though, and all of a sudden I'm eating my words as this is a clutch situation for him, and both CTs in similar locations, but Ro4 drops in a sandwich. Will be able to take him down. Man, sandwich. I didn't realize how anticlimactic that call out is when I'm using at the end of a round like that.
Right. If it's in the middle, you can, pause, say like, oh,
Right.
he's taking a lunch break, something like that. I was so ready to use the pun, like, is this for real? But we're not going to see anything like that.
No.
Foe almost making it, climactic. Brings it down to a 1-on-2. Hurts the economy of SKDC, but in the end, can't find the heads. But the way SKDC was approaching it in that 1 versus 2, he had a chance. And I think I'm seeing why now that SKDC has allowed neXup so many rounds. In those end round scenarios, they get really aggressive and not so, tactically coordinated as they should be, because they didn't take that together, and that easily could be Foe's round there. But instead, still SKDC able to hit their shots. But on the other side of the coin, that's what's been neXup's saving grace. It's just their amazing shooting abilities. We see neXup here going for a one-man fake towards A. What kind of eco? This is just not good from the neXup side. I don't like what I'm seeing at all from them.
Yeah, bit of a slow round as Shinobi slowly moving up towards apartments. He's got synced right behind him as well. JBM waiting for a mid push, and yeah, not really sure what they're thinking here. As FGB will slowly work over towards a ramp, and he might be able to catch someone off guard. As Stewie2K not really looking in the direction, and actually he missed FGB come up completely. Oh, he spotted him at sandwich though, and once again I used a call, and FGB goes down as Shinobi tries to take into the B bomb site. I just don't understand. Like, Shinobi went before everybody and died before anybody can. Like, they're trying to fake the fake, and they just ended up not doing anything really.
And this is what happens in these scenarios when everybody has different ideas on the eco rounds, even more than others. It works out terribly. If on eco rounds especially, sure, when you have guns, then you may be able to, overcome your terrible strat based upon your shooting abilities, but in eco rounds, that's not the case at all. You have to execute as a group. Otherwise, the other teams is going to have an easy time padding their economy and just continuing their advantage. Now, SKDC switching the pace, going aggressively up middle. 3 frags unanswered. neXup dropping 2 at mid, 1 down underpass, looking to trade. And there couldn't have been a better time for SKDC to try this, as they've just now solidified their economy to the point where they can lose a round and still be comfortably buying.
And Shinobi left in B apartments, staring down towards Catwalk. And that smoke is not going to make him any happier, as it means no one's going to be coming from that position that he'll be able to pick off. He's just going to have to go back towards underpass, possibly. He's just going to pace and think, actually. Ponder life inside of it. There's some bookshelves inside of here. I'm sure there is. No, actually, there's no books at all. No, there is. There is. Okay, there's a cabinet here. Maybe he opens up a book. There's a beautiful love seat to the left. He's got a kitchen. He just hangs out there for the end of days. But it does look like he's going to leave his safe habitat.
Reading, Chad? What book is he reading?
I don't know. My creativity doesn't go that far in the story, but...
How about, To Kill a Mockingbird, like he's questioning his morality as a person?
Yeah. And then he kills someone.
No?
Is that what happened after you read the book? I hope not.
It's not what happened after I read the book. I mean,
he's going to try and take up
that
towards...
you know of.
Oh, ooh, the wild card. But Ocean finally takes down Shinobi in top mid, and SKDC will put away the round, and it's looking convincing here. They might be able to take the map and move us on to Train Hype. Can we see some Train Hype in the chat? That would be beautiful.
Yeah, it looks like we're well on our way to Train. Maybe a Tech 9 train coming on through.
See what you did there?
Just horrible wordplay all around today, Chad. Just struggling.
Oh, man.
They may be going for a fast A or not. They do have Shinobi here with the smoke, but he's not at the bottom of the ramp. I don't like this A rush at all. SKDC have all the numbers necessary, and this is just going to go terribly for neXup. If you're going to rush onto the A bomb site, you have to do it in a certain manner. They did not favor their stairs players at all. They didn't throw any sort of smokes to prevent the CT spawn player from coming in. They didn't isolate at all. They sent one player out of the apartments with, nothing. What's the point of the apartments player if your stairs player are already taking on through with nothing to distract the CTs from? Not a good look.
Yeah, that was a rough one for them as CT's SKDC now on 13. Yeah, 3 more before they close out this map. Can neXup throw some different looks in here to find some success? Shinobi's going to go for an op pick, and oh man, he is not going to like what he sees on the other side of that smoke as Stewie2K and Ko were just slowly walking up in his direction. That was terrifying, but Slemmy finds JBM, and this is looking like a
Shinobi
great
being the
SKDC
strat
round.
caller there, what was he thinking? Shinobi's a former Source player. We played a lot together. I never thought he was going to develop into one of the analytical minds coming into the top tier scene, but I can't question the guy considering how he solidified himself in the neXup roster. But that decision to go up A through everything he's seen that SKDC is doing already at the A bomb site, them trying to fake up middle immediately behind that. I'm trying to wrap my head around the strategy behind that. But whether or not Shinobi gets a kill in that situation, he's assumedly going to get traded off. So I can't with that strategy.
Yeah, it was a difficult one to try and analyze, to be honest. As Slemmy get a peek out from triple, takes down 1. Sync now. His time is on a limit as Slemmy puts him down. 3K for Slemmy on the round, and he actually gets an op for his efforts as well. Not that they really need it with their monetary situation, but nice nonetheless. And neXup will be able to force up here if they'd like. Are they gonna go for it is the question. I gotta imagine they do. They got people over 4K and such. Unless they really wanted an op, even then, get a glass cannon in. But it will be rifles across the board. Full nade sets other than Shinobi, as he's going to be going up into Paus. The rest of the team lining up for their smoke play into A. And I don't know, man. I don't know if this is going to work out. They come up very, very quickly as the smokes and flashes rain out. Stewie2K letting his team know as Slemmy finds 1 from jungle. But FGB will be able to find a trade as they take in.
Yeah, this is the point in the match where I say neXup is going to lose and they somehow come back to win the match.
Right.
they take the advantage here. 4-on-3, taking into the bomb site. SKDC bringing 2 players from the CT spawn. Oh, they got a flank coming on through, though. Who is that? It's going to be Els. FGB, if he's not careful, all the CTs have to do in this situation is make some noise. Just raise the roof a little bit. Oh, Els comes through inside of the balcony. There's 1 frag for each team. Ocean looking for going to the ninja defuse. SKDC, you don't have to do this. GPM, 2 easy frags. They both go for the double ninja defuse. This is madness. There's no way. If neXup comes back and wins this, I think we just give them the 3rd map.
Oh my god, JBM, those were 2 of the easiest frags of his life, as he just sees 2 barrels walk up into the smoke and try and defuse, man.
Right, I feel like that's something that happens in a public server. Like, well, these guys don't know what they're doing.
They just gotta, so I gotta defuse the bomb, right? Just go for the bomb and nothing else, just the bomb is the objective.
So I come up
got it.
and hit E.
I got it. Alright guys, I got it. Watch. Oh man, Stewie2K, my god. The man on the mission, he's gonna go for a straight out, he's fully white screened. He found 1 and now they're just standing around dancing in each other's footsteps, but it will be finally Foe to put him down. Stewie2K, oh man, has no idea the situation he just got himself into and they took him out of.
I can't believe. I mean, we're on a tilt-a-whirl here. This is ridiculous. We got Ocean, no 1-on-2 as he narrows down just a bit. There's a trade by neXup though, so 10-14, and boy is SKDC throwing. Not in the sense, that
they're giving away advantages they shouldn't. We're not talking about skins here, folks. We're not getting into that. They are still trying in the match. They're just making some interesting decisions that are resulting in some comedic acts from our point of view.
Wow, Chad, you just saved me right there. That was so good. But yeah, what we're seeing from SKDC, they're getting desperate to end the match, and at 14-10, it's hard not to blame them for it. But with this big an advantage, that's when you're supposed to cool your jets a bit and just coast along to victory, realizing it's your opponents that have to make the critical decisions to try to put you off guard. Instead, it's SKDC, being hasty about it, and now neXup on their verge of the comeback. They haven't established any economy just yet. and SKDC haven't brung themselves to the tie round, so we're still really up in the air, but I am not going to make any more calls on who's going to win the match based upon how absolutely wrong I've been throughout the night. Yeah, neXup going to take another one. And Stewie of SKDC can't get any more kills, so 3 players surviving, decent economy coming in. Same for SKDC. Very important round here. If neXup can somehow take it, we're looking at 13 to 14. SKDC, now they gotta calm down. They're winning. They've already won in my eyes. It's going to be neXup that has to make certain adjustments for them to win. So if SKDC just play their game as they were throughout the earlier parts of the CT half, they should win it.
Slemmy from Connector has a big opportunity, but the perfect pop flash comes in and he gets white screened, as now they can make it up through catwalk towards the B bomb site as Shinobi and FGB both find a frag apiece.
No way.
Ocean gonna be alive and the boost spot in B bomb site. Else finds JBM, but has to be even bigger a defense as he takes down Shinobi. They're still lurking up into the bomb site though, as it's Foe and FGB left to try and win this round.
Yeah, Ocean in this blue spot though. He's still yet to reveal his position. And in this position, even if Foe gets this next kill onto Els, Ocean in this spot should guarantee a kill, as nobody expects Ocean to be here. I mean, even though I'm casting it and I see everything, I still don't expect Ocean to be in this position. Him being this quiet for this long, the guy's got to be some sort of mime. And now he's going to finish off the kill. Foe has no idea. SKDC moving on to that tie point round. And Ocean, I bet you he's glad he actually got to shoot somebody this round, because he's just sitting there so silently.
Oh yeah, if Else gets the frag and he doesn't look like he was the mastermind behind that boost spot, I think he's happy. He's smirking that really worked out in his favor, as he was able to take down Foe. And like we saw, Foe was completely blindsided there, had no idea. I thought for a second he might walk up and see the barrel of Ocean and get this read on it, but wasn't going to be so. I was hoping a little bit too hard there, as it looks like we're going to have neXup in a half-buy situation, in that they spend all their money, but half the equipment that they would optimally want. Stewie 2K takes down FGB. They are able to trade those sync onto Stewie 2K. Ro4 comes into the equation, though, and finds 2, as well as Slemmy with 1. Beautiful play, working off each other well, and now it's only Shinobi to try and bring this to overtime. And if it's not so, we could certainly see Train. Ocean thinking about peeking out. He will be able to take him down. So Train is rolling. Let's get some Train hype in the chat, ladies and gentlemen.